Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
One more short update on crypto market condition. Basically, nothing changed. I would want to tell you something that something interesting is happening, but in fact, the recent price action is really boring. Or if we'd had if we return back to the to the Bitcoin price, at this area we had some swings up and down, but for the recent 24 hours or something, we have very low volatility, and it usually leads to some sudden change eventually. And in fact, we are trading within the same triangles, the same channel, testing again the same resistance levels. And technically, I would say we should go up from that point, but if we'll even look at the higher time scale and remember the previous low volatility period at 6,000 plus area per Bitcoin, you would remember that we expected some sudden change after this period. And again, technically, this triangle should be broken downwards, although we tried to be optimistic and expecting it going up because of the several reasons. But yeah, again, technically we were expected to going down, and we went down, so quite a lot after such a low volatility period. So you would expect that if we have the low volatility, you would probably be seeing some strong price action eventually. And again, technically we were expecting price to go down, anywhere down. Here again, but the difference between those situations, of course, the time scale, the second thing, and the price level, the second thing is the history. So we went actually from the higher point to this one, or local high, and at this stage, we are going from the local minimum to the higher price. And if you would look at this from like that, then you would see, okay, probably we are going up again because it's sort of accumulation to the upside. But it's not first is not clear because that may be indeed our, if you follow the Elliot wave theory, that this may be the fourth Elliot wave, and we'll now have the fifth wave, which will go much lower to $1,000, $2,000, something like that. And the second thing is that if you would consider this to be falling from 6,000, not growing from 3, then again it may be a continuation of accumulation of the short position, so or partial buying at this point, but not continual continuation of the buy. So maybe it will drop even lower to collect even bigger liquidity, because you remember in February there will be ETF decision, hopefully positive. If the huge players expect or maybe even know the decision on ETF will be positive, then they would want to buy, but they will have just this month and a half before that in order to accumulate bigger position. And in order to do that, they will need to make price drop much lower to have panic in the market and collect as much as possible on these panic sells, because again, positive decision on ETF will make the price rise anyway, despite of the level it will drop to. So I would want to tell you something more definitive, but it's really unclear. There is sort of classical technical approach which saying probably will go up, most likely will go up, but we are in a very highly manipulative market, so it's really risky to fall into one of those agendas, one of those opinions. So I would say if you have some position, it's better to hold it, and if it will go higher, just fix some profits. But don't forget that we can always drop and then just keep your fiat, for some of your fiat, to load more. Of course, if you believe in crypto as a long-term investment. Also, I must say that we have this total capitalization wedge, total capitalization of altcoin wedge, which may be not really the wedge, but just triangle as we see for the Bitcoin. Then it would be even more bullish. And currently, again, not financial advice, but despite this, the whole situation with Bitcoin and altcoins start to seem a little bit like not scary, but aware, like it makes people worried. Let's say, like put it like that we may drop much lower because we can't break those key levels and so on. But I was looking at this wedge. You remember this blue wedge of the altcoin capitalization? I was saying that it's a bearish formation, but however, maybe that was a false breakout of the triangle with this flat top. And if that is so, because again we see this 1, 2, 3 attempts to break this $61.5 billion level, and maybe actually I moved this level a bit higher to this value, so maybe it is actually a triangle, not a wedge. Then both Bitcoin and altcoins are showing bullish bullish patterns, which maybe not that bad. I mean, like, it is not 100% clear whether they will play out or not, but they just seem to be promising. So looking at this point, we will have like few days to see whether it will be like a flat continuation of the flat price action and sort of a calm exit from those patterns, or we will see some more breaking movement somewhere up or upwards or to the downside. But still, probably things will be defined very soon. Another thing why I'm a bit more bullish than bearish is that a lot of the altcoins, especially strong altcoins, are showing strength. For example, Ether didn't return to the previous resistance, which we broke, and doesn't try to test it, but actually going up and up and up. We are continue to be trading below 200 days moving average, but didn't fall that far from that. Very high chance that will go above. If yes, then it will be very bullish again. So like if the situation would be rather bearish, then I would expect much lower price, but or much higher, much lower pullback, but much stronger pullback. But it didn't happen. The same thing we can say with many other altcoins, like XRP is basically finished the correction of its previous growth almost to 100%, like 80% of this top to the previous starting point of this rise. So I would expect it to be going up from that point again, and we have this triangle and so on. So also quite bullish patterning. Cardano also holding strong and even making some attempts to break these levels, and so on, and many altcoins are doing the same thing. So this is again the thing which makes me believe that those conditions will lead to the growth, not to the drop. Things may happen, guys, but again, judge by yourself. The thing which I was going to mention today is this coin Walton. You remember, if you remember, I was mentioning this several times before, but the thing why I'm doing this now is that after the drop of Bitcoin to 3,200, Walton was at this level, what is 26,000 satoshis or something, right? And we had it rose to something like 10-20%. Well, the maximum point was higher, but then it basically returned to the level of like 10-15% higher than the low. And comparing to the all other, I would say reasonable alts, not the complete shit coins, Walton showed very small rise from the minimum point. And at that sense, it is, in my opinion, good, nice risk reward ratio, nice buying opportunity, because a lot of them are already made some huge rise in price up to probably almost this level. If you look at the Ether, for example, like if you compare the relative change in the price, but Walton didn't make it yet. So of course the volatility of Walton itself is not that strong, it's not as high as the other altcoins, but still I think it's a nice chance to buy, and I'm closely looking at this altcoin. Not financial advice, but again, up to you guys. Also, I'm just considering the volume, which is at the bottom, well, at this low levels, and it seems to be really high comparing to all the flat region, which was during the year, the whole year. You see, although the price was rather high, why it didn't, the huge players didn't sell at those level while they could. Why, if they were like collecting the short position, I don't think it's reasonable, because they may try to sell it at higher prices and push the price down even much earlier, but it didn't happen. I mean, the volume wasn't there, so I would expect that they are collecting positions, long positions on Walton. So at least I'm considering that. Okay, that is it for today. It was not that short as I wanted, but still, let's look closely what will happen eventually within these patterns which we looked at. Sorry for not being definitive enough, but that's the market. I'm just translating what I'm seeing, and hope to see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you for being with me. Stay safe, and with your safe trading. Goodbye.